Hello ladies and gentlemen, my name is Kerrioth, and welcome back to BS Patrol, or really if we're going to give it its full title, Bullshit Patrol, except I have to put BS Patrol in the title of the video, otherwise I'll get done by the YouTubes, and we don't want that. Firstly, yes, I do need a haircut, and secondly, no, the new microphone has not arrived, so I'm still holding this in front of my face, which is not ideal, but it looks better than having a massive the arm thing just facing over here. It still looks better, trust me, I've tried it. Today we are going to talk about something that is very near and dear to my heart, something that is quite the complaint from a lot of people a lot of the time, not necessarily on my videos, just on videos in general, and well, it's our favourite thing, innit? Clickbait. So here's the thing, clickbait has gone through a few different meanings since it first turned up, since people first started using the phrase. And at first it was quite simple really, because it was an article or a video where the title promised one thing and then it didn't deliver. You said that this would be an amazing list of 10 things that you'd never seen before, and it turns out it was actually a list of 4 things, all of which you already knew, because it's all stuff that was posted on the internet a year ago. Stuff like that. That tended to be what clickbait was, a promise and then a lack of delivery, baiting you into clicking the article even though the article or the video was not what it claimed to be. Now, however, it's kind of evolved, it's kind of changed, and people now look at clickbait in terms of, you know, if you've got a picture of a woman, for instance, barely clad, scantily clad is the word I was going for there, on the thumbnail, people will see that as clickbait, which in some cases is reasonable. In other cases, if the subject of the video is a woman who is scantily clad, not so much. But we'll get onto those little tiny changes in definition and the way people look at them in a sec. You've also got things like, if you put caps lock on for the title, like 10 things you never knew about this, or these 8 things will change your life, all that kind of thing. That's now, I mean, that stuff is more clickbait than it ever used to be, but now it's kind of, the definition is spread, and it seems to be anything that is kind of over exaggerated, anything that is supposed to get you like pumped up or hyped up or make you go, oh, what is that? That is now clickbait for a lot of people. There's a channel that I follow very closely that I really enjoy called Funhouse, which I'm sure you've heard of by this point. They're part of Rooster Teeth. They're the guys from Inside Gaming. They are pretty damn awesome. And they have been accused of clickbait titles and clickbait thumbnails and stuff over and over again. And in a way, it kind of is. It kind of is. When you put like Rule 34 stuff on thumbnails and call your videos stuff like "will this suck" all in caps and stuff like that, it's designed to get people to click it. It's designed to get people to go, what the hell is this, and interact with the video. And in a way, I'm incredibly hypocritical talking about clickbait in the way I'm about to talk about it, because I do that as well. As you already know, probably from looking at this video itself, I use that all the time. If you look at the titles of my videos, quite often there's multiple words in caps lock, there's an overuse of exclamation marks and question marks. I try and ask a question with every title, or I outright state that something is terrible. That's another way to get people to click the video. And at the end of pretty much everything now, it either says gameplay or gameplay first impressions or gameplay review or whatever. You know, it's got the title of the game and then the word gameplay in caps, generally speaking, at the end, if I can get away with it. So really, am I allowed to talk about this? Am I allowed to try and call it out? Am I allowed to say that it's something dreadful that shouldn't be done? Well, yes and no. Because I think in a way clickbait has kind of lost the meaning it had. The things used to be clickbait because they promised something and then never delivered it. Now something is clickbait because it's got caps lock in the title, because it's got like a racy thumbnail, if you want to get all 1960s about it. It's now clickbait because it's designed to appeal to a wide audience. It's designed to get attention. It's designed to stand out. That seems to now be what a lot of people think clickbait is. Which, I guess, if enough people think that's what it is, then that's what it is. That's the way language works, and that's how things go. But I would say that, with regards to this show, Bullshit Patrol, where we look at stuff and we say whether it is or is not bullshit, clickbait is actually a little bit of both. Those things that do promise a certain thing, that do say, click on this if you want to know this, and then you never find out what it is. Those things that claim to be a list of the best things you've ever seen, but actually they're really mediocre. Stuff that is designed not to deliver on what it promises, that is clickbait in its purest form, and that is bullshit. Like, that is just 100% bullshit. If I click an article expecting to see something because the article's title has said that it's going to be there and it's not there, that's bullshit. I mean, that's like No Man's Sky and all the shit that was missing. It said it was there, it wasn't there, that's bullshit. Same thing with actual full-on, as the term was originally used, clickbait. But things like YouTube videos and video titles and thumbnails and all that kind of thing, is that actually bullshit, or is it not bullshit? Now, in a way, I'm kind of biased. I could say that it's bullshit, because, well, I sort of think it is, but also, it's not that simple, because I use it, and therefore, if I had any sort of integrity or self-control, I wouldn't do that, you know? I would just say what the video is, and that would be it. There would be no caps locking, there'd be no asking questions, there'd be no exclamation marks or question marks, or any of that shit. It would just be, I don't know, Tau Open Beta, and that would be the name of the video. Now, you can kind of get away with that if you're a big YouTuber. Like, this is why when Total Biscuit puts up those videos where it's like, I will now talk about whatever for 40 minutes, he can get away with that, because part of his brand is not following that trend of what other YouTubers do. Part of his brand is being very straight-talking, very straight-laced, and what you see is exactly what you're getting from that title. He can do that because he's spent pretty much all of his career doing that. He's built that up around himself, so that really he could put out a video titled pretty much anything, and a significant number of his subscriber base and a significant number of people outside of his subscriber base would watch it. Now, that is a really nice position to be in, and he's done that through being very, very clever. When he started out, things were not quite as they are now, though. Like, he's managed to build that brand up, not in isolation, because obviously he had competition, but he's managed to build that brand, that image, that method of doing things up without being, I want to say, what's the word? Without being, like, pressed in on all sides. He wasn't surrounded by other channels doing the same things that he was. He wasn't battling multiple channels covering the same shit that he was covering. For instance, he started out World of Warcraft. Now, he was a big World of Warcraft channel, but so was Jesse Cox. And they ended up sort of doing similar things, because it was part of, I can't remember which beta it was, but they were covering the same beta. And so, really, the two were in competition with each other, but they weren't in huge competition with other channels, so they were able to evolve and build up their own identities without being too affected by the stuff that was going on around them. Now, when you look at YouTube today, it is a totally different story. There are gaming channels by the thousands upon thousands, and we're not just talking people sort of my sort of age or like early 20s or whatever. You're getting actual like 13, 14-year-olds who have got a copy of OBS and are now recording games. You know, they've got an Elgato for their birthday, and so they record themselves playing on the PlayStations or Xboxes. It's not the same situation as it was when some of these YouTubers who can just basically title their videos whatever they like and get views rose to prominence, which I'm not complaining about. That's not a problem. I don't care. Fine, whatever. But the way that things have worked in terms of getting attention, getting clicks, getting views, things have kind of shifted, particularly in the gaming space. Now, people like you grade A under A, it's not so much of a big deal. He has a very unique style of content, he provides a very unique style of video. But when you're talking about gaming channels, when you're talking about gaming videos, when you're talking about the stuff that I do, the stuff that Funhouse does, the Achievement Hunter, Rooster Teeth, Game Grumps, all of that lot, it's a different market now. Some of them are big enough to just stand on their own. They don't need to care about this. They don't need to try and title their videos to get attention. They don't need to make their thumbnails like massively eye-catching in an attempt to get people to click them, because they have an established user base that is just growing organically and will continue growing pretty much till the end of time. They can kind of get away with it. But for channels that want fast growth, for channels that want to be noticed, for channels that want to, you know, rise up quickly, as Funhouse does, you've kind of got to not go with the crowd, except also go with the crowd. You need to be using the techniques that you know work. And this is why I use the techniques I'm talking about right now. That's why I'm like saying that, yeah, I do use caps and, you know, exclamation marks, question marks, you know, really bright eye-catching thumbnails wherever I can. I do that because it works. Now, it might seem clickbaity, and in a way it is. It's designed to get you to click it. It's designed to make it so that you're looking at a page with hundreds of other submissions for the same thing that I've done. Like, the same game, the same news story, the same whatever it is. I want you to click mine. So, I do everything I can to make it so that mine is the most attractive to you. Now, I know there are a certain number of people out there who go, yeah, but Kiri, I would click your videos more if it just said Battlefleet Gothic Tower Fleet DLC. That's fine, and that's good, and I'm very thankful that there are still people around who do that, but you're in the minority. You're in the minority by a long stretch. YouTube themselves know how this works. They know that the more caps you ram in, the more eye-catching and bright your thumbnails are, the more of a unique design you have, the more clicks you're going to get. Using that, that's just sensible. Like, I'm only a small channel. Kiriath TV is not big. It's like 3,500 subs at the moment, which I'm perfectly happy with, but it'd be nice to have more. And the way to get more is to get people's attention and get people to watch the video. And the way to get people to watch the videos, people who have never come across this channel before, is not to be bland. It's not to be dull. It's not to just be matter of fact and just give a statement of this is this video with, like, I don't know, just a screenshot and nothing else. It needs more because people won't click it. And that's where this rise of, like, I guess it is now, technically, because enough people think of it as such, clickbait style titling and thumbnail stuff, that's where that's come from. Now the question is, really, is it bullshit? In a way, yeah, I think it is kind of bullshit, because it doesn't matter how shiny your thumbnail is, it doesn't matter how many words in caps you fit into the title, it doesn't matter how many exclamation marks you stick on the end of something. If your content isn't good, then people probably won't stick around and watch it. Just as if you make great content, but all you do is stick up a screenshot of the game and nothing else in the thumbnail and just say, I don't know, Naval Action Part 59 or something, you could have the best content in the world, but no one's going to click it. And that's sad, and that's bullshit, because it shouldn't be down to who's got the most flashy graphics or who has got the most ridiculous title. It should be down to who makes the best content. On the other hand, is adopting that style of marketing yourself and advertising your videos, is that bullshit? No, not really. I mean, let's face it, the way that YouTube is going, by the time this video comes out, there'll be like 100 more gaming channels will have sprung up. There'll be hundreds more commentators, there'll be hundreds more people making videos similar to the videos that I make. And that's fine, I don't have a problem with that. But if you're going to get your share of the viewers, if you're going to get your share of subscribers, if you're going to get people's attention, you need to do it in a way that is guaranteed to work. And I can tell you for free, I can tell you for nothing, I don't mind saying this at all, because it's a fact and you can easily verify it just by looking at my channel and looking at other channels of the same size. When I started changing the format of my titles, when I changed the format of how I displayed my thumbnails, how I wrote my titles, and how I used that in videos that I'd made, the views on those videos went up. It's that simple. When you look at some of the older videos I've done, they're on current games, they're on current releases, but they didn't do very well. And they didn't do very well because I didn't really use the same strategy that I'm using now. And the reason I'm using the techniques that I'm using now is because they work. So, is it bullshit that you need to do this to keep yourself relevant, to keep yourself getting new people, to make it so that your channel grows? Yeah, it kind of is, because it'd be nice not to. It'd be nice if everything was just clean cut and simple and this is what this is, watch it if you want. Is it bullshit to adopt these tactics in an attempt to, well, keep up? No, not at all. Because you've got to do what you've got to do to keep yourself going, haven't you? There's no point me sitting here making videos for you guys every day if no fucker watches them. There's no point me sitting there, you know, slaving away at editing something down for 2 hours if when I release it, no one clicks it because the thumbnail is a black square and the title is just simply reads Eternal Crusade. There's no point doing that. You've got to use what works. And clickbaity titles and clickbaity thumbnails, well, they work really, really well. The evidence is there. It's pretty irrefutable. It's there for you to see. And given that even large channels like Funhouse have outright said before that the reason they do it is because it works, the reason they do it is because that is how you get new views, new subscribers, new people onto the channel, I'm inclined to go along with it. So, I think that pretty much covers it. Clickbait in the old form of you promise a thing, you don't deliver, that is bullshit. Having to use clickbaity titles and thumbnails is a little bit bullshit, but utilising those methods to actually grow your channel and to get more people to watch your videos, that's not bullshit, that's just being sensible about it. Thank you very much for watching, I'll see you on the next one. Toodaloo!